Hi, I'm Mitch Bertrang. Today I'm in the aft portion of our B-25 bomber. A few weeks ago we posted this video showing some newly fabricated parts for our ongoing restoration projects. Today I'd like to show you where they'll be installed and their purpose. During the 1950s, the United States Air Force modified B-25s for non-combat roles. This was known as the Hayes mod. Part of this modification process was the removal of non-essential components. One of the removed components was the dinghy shelf assembly, which was located right here. This shelf and the support brackets were simply cut off and removed. Remnants of the original shelf brackets were still attached to the structure of our B-25, and you can see where it was cut off right here. The newly painted parts look like this. They were fabricated per the original North American Aviation plans. This shelf will be going right here, and it's going to be held into place by 3 brackets, which will be riveted back into the structure. They're part of the SCR 578 assembly, and the Gibson girl will go right here, held into place by horizontal and vertical strapping. So you're probably wondering, okay, what's an SCR 578? Well, to answer that question, let's go outside the bomber and spend some time with Andy Bredesen, and he'll tell us more about this component. All right, we're outside the B-25 bomber, and I'm joined here with Andy Bredesen. Andy is a commercial airline pilot. He's right seat SIC in our B-25 bomber, flies our S&J T6, does restoration work, and if that isn't enough, he's also our wing leader. Andy, thanks a ton for being here. So can you tell our viewers a little bit about the SCR 578?
Absolutely, thanks Mitch. So this is the SCR 578, as Mitch mentioned. This is what's actually going to go onto the dinghy shelf once we finish the restoration of the bomber. The SCR 578 is your survival radio to signal rescue if the airplane ever went down in desolate territory. And let's open it up and see what it looks like. All right, so here we have the components of the SCR 578 all laid out. The most important piece is the Gibson girl. Called it because for fairly obvious reasons. It is a self-contained radio generator that transmits using a spooled copper antenna. Now, because of low frequencies that were used during the war for this particular radio, you had to get a pretty good distance away with the antenna. Several ways to do it. You could put it up a tree, or you could fly the kite, but if you didn't have any wind for the kite, you could actually inflate one of the balloons. We have 2 balloons here, and we also have 2 gas generators for the balloon. You submerge these in water, and you can inflate the survival balloon with them to fly the antenna up. Now, what happens if you break one of the antennas? Well, luckily the designers put 2 spare antenna assemblies in, and then as the crew waiting in their dinghy or around their fire saw an airplane coming nearby, they would use the signal lamp to actually signal the airplane to bring it in. Now, these components, of course, are big, they're bulky, they're heavy, and not really that convenient to use. So through the 1960s, the Air Force and the Navy actually created components such as this, to replace the Gibson girl.
Andy, I can't thank you enough for being here today to show us the Gibson girl and then also all the associated components. We're going to be following up with another video showing the installation of the dinghy shelf, the brackets, and then finally the installation of the SCR 578 in the aft section of our B-25 bomber. Until that time, I'm Mitch Bertrang. Thank you for watching.